Today, we recognize the importance of form of your research in order to highlight its substance, as what Dr. Tingson highlighted a while ago, and as what Lynch in 2026 said, consistent formatting is not just about aesthetics. It's a crucial aspect of effective communication that enhances readability and professionalism. Recognizing the importance of formatting, West Visayas State University came up with a unified set of graduate school policies, guidelines, and manual of operations that includes thesis and dissertation parts and thesis and dissertation format. Let us now focus on the thesis and dissertation parts by having this very short quiz. May I invite the participants to get a piece of paper or perhaps use your gadget to take note of your answers to the following questions, and let us discuss the correct answers later. Question number 1. In quantitative research, how many parts are required for Chapter 1? A5, B6, C7, D8. Second question, which chapter includes the researcher's subjectivity statement in a qualitative research? A, Chapter 1, B, Chapter 2, C, Chapter 3, D, Chapter 4. And the third and the last question is delimitation of the study required for qualitative research. A, yes, it is required. B, no, it is not required, but it may be included as needed. C, no, it is not required and it should not be included. So for us to agree on the answers, let us refer to this appendix included in the policy. This is Appendix D1 that includes a comparison of the quantitative research parts and qualitative research parts. Let's focus on the preliminary pages of quantitative research. We begin with the title page, followed by the following: approval sheet, acknowledgements, abstract, table of contents with preliminary pages, list of tables when applicable, list of figures if you have figures in your manuscript, and list of appendices when applicable. For quantitative research, first chapter, we have introduction. This includes background of the study, theoretical or conceptual framework of the study, research paradigm, statement of the problem, hypotheses. Even though this is not indicated in the policy, hypotheses is optional, definitely. If you do not have an inferential research question, there is no reason for you to include hypotheses, definition of terms, delimitation of the study, and significance of the study. For the second chapter, this is review of related literature. Review related literature and studies to reveal related concepts, theories, or underlying assumptions about the problem. Here are the parts for the third chapter, which is research methodology. Research design, the sample, participants, respondents, subject, if needed, instruments, sources of data, the intervention, if needed, especially if you conducted an experimental research, data collection procedure, data analysis, and ethical considerations if needed. However, it has been highlighted during our orientation that ethical consideration must be highlighted in our paper, and ethics review is actually needed by graduate school students. Let's proceed to the fourth chapter entitled Results and Discussion. We have two parts: descriptive data analysis based on the statement of the problem, and inferential data analysis based also on the statement of the problem. So it is clear that the organization of the fourth chapter should be dependent on your research questions. This is the last chapter: summary, conclusions, implications, and recommendations. This includes summary, conclusions, implications, may include lessons learned as well as recommendations. Take note that in the listing, as found in the policy, we have references and appendices. However, I just would like to highlight that both of these references and appendices are not included in the 5th chapter. Now let's proceed to the qualitative research. Okay. We also have the same preliminary pages. For the first chapter, we have some differences. Take note that we now have epistemological and theoretical research perspective. Specific theories of the study may also be included if applicable. Statement of the problem, assumptions of the study, or researcher's subjectivity statement. Take note that this part is not included in the quantitative research. Definition of terms is a must. The limitation of the study may be included if needed, and significance of the study. Chapter 2 has a similar description. For the third chapter, it is also entitled Research Methodology, and it includes methodological perspective, wherein you specify methodology used in the study or your research design. Context of the study as appropriate, wherein you include setting, venue, or research locale, as well as data sources that includes respondents, informants, participants, artifacts, instruments. Subject may also be included in Chapter 3 if needed, data collection procedure, data analysis procedure, and the last one is ethical considerations. For the fourth chapter, the researcher may opt to organize the data based on what is deemed to be appropriate based on the statement of the problem. Sometimes we include a section at the beginning of the fourth chapter to provide a context in order for the reader to easily understand the themes and the answers to the research questions. Let us now proceed to the 5th chapter, entitled Summary, Conclusions, Implications, and Recommendations. Summary is included, definitely. However, conclusions is optional. And so, if you will not include conclusions, this should be deleted as well in the title of the first chapter, of the 5th chapter, I mean. Implications may include lessons learned, recommendations, and definitely references and appendices are not included in Chapter 5, and your appendices may include photos. There is an important note in the policy which states parts may vary for mixed methods design, and for qualitative research, chapter's title may vary. Okay? So now let's go back to our quiz. For the first question, what's your answer? You may use the chat box to share. The correct answer is 8. So take a look. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But definitely, as I mentioned a while ago, hypotheses is not required if you do not have an inferential research question. And eventually, you will have 7 parts only. For number 2, what's your correct answer? What's the correct answer for the second question? It's 1. Chapter 1 includes the subjectivity statement. As shown here, subjectivity statement may be explained together with the assumptions of the study. For the third question, what is our correct answer? Letter D. Definitely, it's not required, but as needed, the delimitation of the study may be included as shown here in the screenshot for the parts of the first chapter. May I know if there are questions about the thesis and dissertation parts? Since there are no questions, let's proceed to the second part, the thesis and dissertation format. For this section, there is a need for us to use Microsoft Word. So may I invite everyone to be ready with your laptop, your computer, and open Microsoft Word for us to try formatting an existing file or creating a new file to follow the recommended format. Here is the general formatting. The paper size is A4, no longer short. Margins at the left should be 1.5 inches or 3.81 centimeters. Right, top, and bottom margins should be 1 inch. No brackets in all pages. Typeface and font size should be Tahoma 11. But for science, technology, and math programs, font style and size may vary as approved by the college or campus. Here at the College of Education Graduate School, we follow the font size 11 and typeface Tahoma. Now take note that on every page, we have a header, and the font style of the header is also Tahoma, or as approved by the college. So we are also using Tahoma in the graduate school. We include the text, West Visayas State University, College of Education, and then the address, Iloilo City. As shown in the policy, the text graduate school is not included. However, after consulting with our graduate school secretary, we have made a decision that graduate school must be included in the header. So let us also highlight the definition or the note from APA that page header appears within the top margin of every page of the paper. So it means that as much as possible, the header, as shown on the slide, should be included in the margin, which as described in the previous slide, as shown now, as 1 inch from the edge of the paper. So now let's open Word. May I invite everyone to open your Word application and then perhaps use split screen so that half of the screen will be Zoom and then half would be your Word application. Now, I have opened Word and let us follow the format as mentioned in the policy. First, let's go to layout and open page setup. First, for the margin, for top, we have 1 inch. That's 2.54 centimeters. Bottom and right should also have the same measurements. But for the left, we have 3.81. So let us change that. Let's go to paper. Let's change the paper size to A4. If you find it difficult to scroll down and look for A4, you may type on your keyboard A4 so that it will immediately appear on your screen. Okay. Let's go to layout next. In our format, the first page of every section does not have a page number. For us to easily follow that, let us click this, different first page. Now the header should be 0.5 centimeters. Okay, let me check first, just to be sure, okay? The header should be half centimeter. Okay, now that I have verified that, let me go back to layout again. Click page setup. Okay, again, let me demonstrate. Margin, let's just change the left to 3.81. Paper should be A4. And layout, click different first page. And for header, it should be half centimeter from the edge of the paper. Let's click OK. Right. So we need to type West Visayas State University College of Education Graduate School. But to save time, let me just copy that text. Okay, just a moment. It's fine. Okay. Okay. Now we are back on the file that I'm working on. Let me paste the text. West Visayas State University College of Education Graduate School, Iloilo City. Take note that these texts should be Tahoma. Now let's go back to my presentation just to be sure. We have Tahoma 14 bold. I hope everyone is following what I'm doing. And then the address should be size 10 bold. Sorry. There you go. So it's Tahoma 14 bold. The address should be Tahoma 10 bold as well. Okay. Are there any questions regarding the margins as well as the header? Observe that the top header is no longer 1 inch. Okay, I'll demonstrate. I'll delete this header first. So if we have 1 inch top margin, it looks like this. But once I have pasted the header, there is an increase in the measurement, and that's okay. Okay, don't worry about that. If it is not exactly 1 inch. Okay, are there questions? Ray can kindly help me out in determining if there are questions that I need to address. Okay, since there are none, let me go back to my presentation. General spacing should be double space, and general alignment is left aligned. Preliminary page For preliminary pages, page number should be at the middle lower part and using small Roman numerals. The font style and font size are not included in the policy, and so we assume that we still use Tahoma 11 for the page number. Page number using Hindu-Arabic will be in the upper right part of the page, and this should be for the chapters. For chapter 1, no title of the research, no name of the researcher, no page number. Start immediately with chapter 1. Now, let's go back to our Word file. I hope everybody's file now looks like this. Okay, let us create our preliminary pages. So for now, wait. For now, let me just label this as preliminary page 1. Okay, now remember that this first page should be the title page. The next page after the title page is the approval sheet. And we need to make sure that the approval sheet, the text, the phrase approval sheet, should begin at the top of the page. So the technique here is to insert, go to layout, number 1, go to layout, click breaks, and click page. Okay. Now, immediately, the cursor will go to the second page. This is now your preliminary page 2, wherein your approval sheet will later be shown. Okay. Now, take note that our second page does not have a header. That is because a while ago, we clicked different first page. The pagination as well as the header of the first page will not immediately be shown on the succeeding pages once you have chosen different first page. It is important that we insert this break, not as shown, click layout, click breaks, and then click page. It is important. Why? Because let me demonstrate. Okay. I am going to click enter. Sorry. I'm going to click enter. As you can see on the first page, I have been entering and then making some space here or typing something here. But on the second page, still the text remains on top. So it will eliminate problems later on pagination so that we are sure that the succeeding pages will not change every time you make changes on the preceding pages. Okay. Now, what we need to do now is to insert page number. Take note that the first page does not have a page number. So here on the second page, I will go to page number. So immediately once you have double clicked, the header and footer tab will open. Click page number here at the upper left-hand corner. And then click bottom of the page, center, plain number 2, because this is the format for preliminary pages, page numbers. And then I will highlight, it's so small, but I hope you can see that I'm highlighting the number. And then let's go to home, change the font to Tahoma 11. Okay, after which we also have to format the page number. Go to header and footer, click page number, format page numbers. And the number format should be this. There you go. So let's zoom in. Okay, as shown on the screen, we do not have a page number here on the first page. And on the second page, we now have this. All right. Are there questions? Is there a procedure that I need to repeat? Okay, none. Now, as you can see, the second page does not have a header yet. So what I'm going to do is just highlight this one, copy, and paste. Observe that there is a space after Iloilo City. This will also provide us with enough space before the beginning of the text in the body of your manuscript. Okay, now we are ready to prepare the pages for the next chapters. After the last word of your second page, go to layout. Click breaks. This time, you are not going to click page. Rather, click next page. It means that you are creating a section break. We need to do this because the next section will have a different pagination format. Okay, so let's click next page. And this page will be for chapter 1. So for example, there are several texts here. Let me just randomly paste some texts. There you go. In order to generate just a second page for your first chapter. Let me zoom out. As shown on the screen, we have a page number here below. Now take note that if I'm going to double click that, under header and footer, link to previews has been chosen. We are going to click that one so that this particular section should not be linked to our preliminary pages. I am going to delete this page number because we are now on the first chapter. Now let's go back to our preliminary page. As shown, the page number is still here. It is not affected. Now, for our first chapter, our page number should be located at the upper right-hand corner of the page. And it should be Hindu Arabic. So let's go to header and footer, page number, click top of the page, and choose plain number 3. Don't worry if the header disappeared. That's okay. We will paste it again. As shown here, we have different first page. That's okay. Link to previews is necessary for the second page of chapter 1. Okay? This is necessary so that the pagination will continue. But on the first page of chapter 1, do not link to previews. Go to page number, format page number, and the number format should be this. Okay, go to home, Tahoma 11. Definitely it's not going to be bold. There you go. Okay, just a moment. Let me fix. If you are encountering some problems in your own file, feel free to send a message here in Zoom. Again, let me check the first page of the first chapter. I'm so sorry, but link to previews has been chosen again. I have to click this again. All right. And copy and I am pasting now the header for the second page of chapter 1. Now, as you can see, we have number 4 here because I have not inserted page number on the first page of the first chapter. So let me check the page number here. It should be on top of the page as well. But, oh, sorry. Page layout. Insert, I mean, page number, top of the page. And then I'll click this one. As shown, it is page number 3. So let me go to page number and format page number, and we begin at 1. It should not continue from the previous section. Okay, again, we are working on chapter 1, first page. We should start on page 1. Do not continue from the previous section, which is preliminary part of your paper. Okay, don't worry about the absence of the header. I'll just paste here the header. But remember, there should be no page number here. I know I inserted the page just for me to format and begin with number 1. That's the importance of the first page of the first chapter. But I have to delete this because page number should not be shown on the first page of every chapter. Now let me just double check the font. It's Calibri by default, so I'll change that to Tahoma 11. Okay? So everyone, are you okay? I hope that even though this is a virtual workshop, you can follow the procedure. Okay. So we have page 1, page 2. Now let's revisit our preliminary page. The page number looks okay still. Okay. Oh, there should be no number here. I'll delete this one, praying that the page number on the next section should not be deleted. Oops. Let me check. I'll just unlink this one. Okay, let me unlink first the first chapter and I'll delete this. Okay. Okay, good. Again, I just would like to highlight there is a need for us to unlink even the second page of the first chapter so that the pagination of the preliminary pages and the chapter pages will not affect each other. All right. Let me just double check the page number format. It should continue from the previous section. No, it should start at 1. Okay, correct. Are there questions about the shift from preliminary pages to chapter 1? Okay, now let's prepare chapter 2. I'll just copy these random text and then go to the last text of the first chapter, and then I'll go to layout. I think everybody now knows the procedure. Go to layout, click breaks, and click next page. And then I'll just paste these random text for now for me to create the second chapter. Now let's zoom in. This should be chapter 2. And the pagination should continue from the previous section. So let's double check to show header and footer. Go to page number, format page numbers, continue from previous section. Okay, so this is perfect. We now have page 4. Okay, so this is page 1, page 2, Page 3 is the first page of the second chapter, and we now have page 4. Now let's go to the last part. I'll close the header and footer for now. Go to the last part of the second chapter. Go to layout, click breaks, click next page, paste, and this is for the third chapter. Okay? I'm just typing some random text for now just to generate the backbone of our file, the paginations. And now, again, let's go to layout, click breaks, next page, and let's prepare the section for fourth chapter, right? Are we in the fourth chapter now? Yes. And after the fourth chapter, again, we go to layout, click breaks, click next page, paste, and we are now in the fifth chapter. After the fifth chapter, we also click breaks, click next page, and we have this section for the references. Let us now create a section for the last part of our paper, and this is for the appendices. Let me save my work. I hope you are saving yours as well. There you go. So let me zoom out. As shown, we have 14 pages, and we are now ready to paste the content of our work. I understand that some of you already have existing files, but I highly recommend that you begin from scratch because sometimes existing files have hidden settings and formatting that are difficult to edit. Sometimes when we also share files through Google Drive and the file is opened through Google Docs, some settings will be changed. I highly recommend then that you edit your file offline using Microsoft Word and just share your file through Google Drive. There you go. Now let me go back to my presentation. As of now, wala pa rin tanong, right, Rayken? Ma'am Donita? Do we have questions?
So far, Doc, wala pa.
Yeah. Madaming na salamat, ma'am. Okay, now we go to first chapter. Eto na siya, no title of the research. Begin talaga siya with the first chapter. So I'll demonstrate that later. What is important is that we have created a backbone for our file and we now have corresponding sections for every part of our paper and we don't have to worry about deleting the first page on every chapter because I have seen that some students would tend to insert a rectangle no, na filled by white color. So, medyo mahirap po siya minsan kasi basi-bala ang rectangle mo mag-travel siya to other pages, no? Kag ma-reveal ang ginatago nga page number. So, area foolproof na ini, kina-format na siya. No pagination for chapter pages, although this is part of the overall counting of pages. Use APA, latest edition for tables, in-text citations and reference list to accord flexibility. Other formats deemed appropriate by the academic program may be used as stipulated in the college or campus thesis/dissertation guidelines. All text must be center aligned for the title page. The title must be in all caps. If the title consumes more than one line, it should follow an inverted pyramid alignment. Now, let's proceed to the description of the text that should be included on the title page. Student's name must follow first name, middle initial, and last name format, followed by the month and year of graduation. This is very important because one time we use date of defense. So take note of this. We are going to include month and year of graduation in the first term or semester, or in the second term or semester, or in the third term or summer. Spacing is negotiable. So hindi kita gid no very strict kung lima na siya ka double spaced. Spacing is negotiable as long as the text spreads uniformly on the page. So this is the screenshot of the sample layout of the title page. We have the title here, all caps. We have this text in partial fulfillment of the requirements for the degree. We include the curricular program, name of student, and month and year of graduation. Now let me go to my file. Just a moment. To save time, I'll copy the existing text that I have prepared beforehand. Okay. Everybody, let us go to our first page in the preliminary section. Let me zoom in. Okay. I'll delete this phrase. It is not needed anymore. Okay. There is an option for us to include a space here. That can be an option because remember, spacing is negotiable for the title page. We may decide to have no space, but if we still have enough space, we can include 1 year before the title. Title of the dissertation or thesis must be all caps, and must follow an inverted pyramid alignment. And then, just estimate. I have used here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the sixth line, double space to, we have a master's thesis or dissertation presented to the faculty of the College of Education, West Visayas State University, Iloilo City, and we have space also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In partial fulfillment of the requirements for their degree, then you insert curricular program here. Let's have 1, 2, 3, 4. Rosemary G. Philemon, and this one should be center aligned. Okay, let's zoom out. Okay, does this look good already? There you go. Do we have enough spacing? So let me go back to my PowerPoint. As shown here, we also have space after name of student. So we may decide to add additional space here. Okay, so this is the look of our title page. There's no page number. Remember, spacing is negotiable. We're not very strict, but this one looks balanced already. So we may follow that one. Let me just delete the extra space that I have inserted a while ago during the demo. Okay, so now let's go to the second page, which is the approval sheet. As shown, the first line is still here on top. Oh, wala siya naglagaw, no? Kahit di nag-insert kita, no to ganing ato nga ginubra, layout, breaks, page. To ensure that the next page's line, first line, should begin on top of the page. So we're done with the title page. Are there questions? None? Okay. Now let's continue. This is the second part of the preliminary pages, the approval sheet. The title must be in all caps. If the title consumes more than one line, it should follow an inverted pyramid alignment. The following texts must be included. Names must follow first name, middle initial, and last name format. All caps except name of student. Spacing is negotiable again as long as the text spreads uniformly on the page. So this is how it looks like. Okay, we have the title. A thesis dissertation capstone project for the degree, insert curricular program by name of student. Okay. Approved by the research committee. And the names are here. And then the name of the dean as well. Okay. Let me copy the texts that I have prepared beforehand to save time. And go to the demo page that I have been working on. I would like to emphasize again that we have month and year here, and that would pertain to the month and year of graduation. All right, so this is the demo page. This is the approval sheet. I'll just replace this one with the texts that I have prepared beforehand. Okay. So we have approval sheet, all caps. Okay. We also have the title. I have not typed the title yet. So for now, wait. For now, let me copy this text first. It's the same title that we have on the first page of the preliminary pages. Sorry. Let me just fix that later. For now, paste the title. There you go. Approval sheet in all caps, title of the thesis or dissertation, all caps as well. And then we have a master's thesis slash dissertation or capstone project for the degree. You insert it here by your name. And we have approved by the research committee. So we have first, middle initial, last, comma, and then we have PhD. If in case the degree is PhD, we do not put period, as practiced also by APA. Okay, no need for period. Comma, chairperson, followed by member, external expert slash member, and advisor. Here below, we also have the dean. So let us just make some adjustments in the spacing so that all needed texts will be included on this page. There you go. All right. Okay. So let me just delete this one. Okay. I might have clicked something a while ago that changed the pagination. Okay, and every time you work on your paper, it's possible that something magical will happen. Don't just panic and let's just do it again. It's so easy to do it. I might have clicked something and let me change the font. I am actually demonstrating what you are supposed to do. And yes, there might be some repetition, there might be some struggle, and that's okay. There you go. I hope that I have unlinked. All right. I think I have linked it to previews a while ago, which is a big no-no. I know what happened here on the file because I pasted something from the previous file. It might have carried some sort of formatting. So I should have pasted text only and should not include format. So let me just click undo. It's okay. There you go. So when I clicked undo, the pages are still here. Let me copy this one. Pasted it here. Let me check the paginations on the next chapters. Okay, they are still intact. Okay, so lesson learned based on this demo, it's possible that the formatting will change if you are going to copy and paste. Okay, so this is the approval sheet. Let me go to the texts that I need for the approval sheet, and then I will go to paste here, and then I'll click this one. Okay, which is just paste. All right, let me just show you. I'll click paste special and unformatted text. There should be no formatting at all, so that I'll just copy the text. So, okay, good thing. The pagination did not change at all. So the problem stemmed from pasting the content of the approval sheet. So by default, we use Tahoma 11 and double space. Now, you take note that the line spacing options, there should be no space before and after. So that's for the part. All right. So let me click this one. It should be center aligned. Center aligned as well. So there's to be an extra space here. There you go. Now, you have to take note that by default, we have double space, but here, this is just single space. So change the spacing between the line, the name of your research committee to single space. There you go. Oh, the dean's name is not yet here, so let's make some adjustments. Perhaps we can delete this extra space. Remember, spacing is negotiable. And so, let's see. Not yet here. There you go. Oh, because we have lots of space for the name of Sir Ricky, but this one should be right aligned. And remember that we only have a single space for this as well. I'll just change this to left aligned and then click tab. Yeah, tab, and make some adjustments. Now, remember, it's easier to use tab rather than multiple spaces. Again, use tab rather than multiple spaces. If you want to change the specific placement of the text, you can click here on the ruler, and then this tab will appear. Then you can make some changes by dragging the tab. All right. So the theme is here, left aligned as well. There you go. And we have the date of the graduation. Okay, so you make judgment if the spacing is okay, because here spacing is negotiable. So I think I just need to differentiate approval sheet from the title to come up with this one. Let me zoom out to show you how it looks like. Yeah. So we now have the title page, approval sheet, no, first page, second page is still here below. Let me check my chapters. paginations are intact. Okay. Now we are done with the approval sheet. Let's now go to acknowledgements. Not more than 3 pages. Nako, you cannot say thank you to the whole barangay because we are limited to 3 pages or less. With the last page having the student's name in all caps and right aligned, may be expressed in the first person. We used to see dissertations and the theses with acknowledgments with third person pronoun. Let's say we have the phrase, the researcher would like to thank this person and that. But take note, let me show you one excerpt from APA. First versus third person pronouns. Pronouns replace nouns, and each pronoun should refer clearly to its antecedent. To avoid ambiguity in attribution, use the first person rather than the third person when describing the work you did as part of your research and when expressing your own views. If you are writing a paper by yourself, no, ikaw lang yung author, use the pronoun I. Do not use the pronoun we to refer to yourself kasi ikaw lang isa. If you do not have co-authors, but if you have a co-author, then you may use we. If you are writing a paper with co-authors, use the pronoun we. Do not refer to yourself, your co-authors in the third person as the authors or the researchers. That's a big no-no for APA guideline. However, use the third person to refer to the specific contribution of a particular co-author within a paper with multiple authors. In the following example, Sonia is one of the authors of the paper, and so we have this text. We assess children's language abilities. Sonia, who is a speech language pathologist, trained all tester, and eventually you may have she, etc. 'Di ba? Kasi specific siya nga author among the list of authors of that particular paper. Keep in mind that if you refer to co-authors by name in the text of your manuscript, you may need to mark out their names each time they appear if your paper is to undergo masked review. No? So do not reveal their names for blind reviews. Now let's proceed to the next part, which is the abstract. It should include a sample citation of the unpublished capstone thesis or dissertation with hanging indentation, like this one, as shown on the screen, single space po. Abstract/executive summary must not be more than 1.5 pages. 1.5 pages. Double space niya siya. Yung single space lang yung sample citation on top. Okay? After the abstract, you include keywords, not more than 5 keywords. After which, we have the table of contents, the preliminary pages, and from chapter 1 onwards, please follow the parts as indicated in the appendices D1 and D2 of the policy. So it looks like this. There. So in the guideline, there is no specific rule regarding the spacing, the placement of the text, where one should be placed, where introduction should be written, where background should begin, where this page number should fall. But let me share with you the recommendations of the editors before. Take note that in the existing graduate school policy, we do not have a sample for preliminary pages. Hence, I would then recommend, this is just a recommendation because it's not part of the policy, that we follow some recommendations from the editors that we have been practicing for years. So let me highlight some of the notes here. Okay, so we just simply have to list down all the parts for the table of contents, including the preliminary parts. But this is interesting. We include the word chapter here, and then one should be placed under letter P of chapter. Di ba? Kauti, no? I decided to use tab instead of spaces. It's very difficult to edit a paper if you have spaces. So you just move this one to edit your tab stops. Okay, I really could not perfectly align one with P. I could perhaps include a space or so, but I think this one is acceptable. The title of the chapter should appear after one tab or 5 spaces. I would highly recommend use one tab instead of spaces. Chapter titles must be all caps. Done. So easy to do. Now, after the chapter title, of course, you have the subheadings. Eto naman. The subheadings should be typed under the third letter of the chapter title. There you go. Ito na yung third letter. And again, I use tabs. There you go. And then I just edited. I just move this one. There you go, to align everything. It's so easy rather than using spaces. Why? Because, for example, if I am going to edit the second line, say statement of the problem, I'll just enter. And once you have established the indent or the tab stop of the previous line, the intention or the tab stop will be followed for the succeeding lines once you click enter. Diba? It's so easy rather than, clicking space bar several times. Next, we have subheadings. Oh, okay, we're done with this. Entries under Chapter 2 should include all headings and the subheadings found in the review of related literature. These entries must be indented 2 spaces under the previous text. There you go, 2 spaces. Next one, for longer titles, for example, for Chapter 5, the second line is indented 2 spaces under the first line, and the title must be single space, just like this one. Okay, and take note also that the page number will be aligned to the second line of that long title. Now let's proceed. To save time, I will no longer demonstrate everything, okay? I just invested on the demonstration a while ago on the paginations. But I believe that independently, you can follow what I am, again, recommending. And this is not required by the policy because, again, the one that I am showing you now is not part of the policy. List of tables must be all caps, must not be bold. If there is only one table, put list of table. Page numbers must be below letter A. Diba ito ka-funny, no? Sa A, siya dapat matupong. The table numbers must be placed under letter B of table. Let me see. Oh, I have to make some adjustments here. The distance between table numbers and table titles is 5 spaces. It is not indicated that we use tab, but again, I would recommend you use tab. Titles of tables must be in upper and lower cases. Content words within the title should begin with a capital letter. All entries must be double-spaced, even in the table of contents. There you go. So we have list of figures. Same. We have the same notes here. Okay. And remember that for figures, we're using number. And for appendices, we're using letter. There you go. So we have similar formatting. Are there questions about table of contents? None. Now let's go to headings. This is very essential for us to easily understand the flow of your argument as well as the content of your work. There are 5 levels, but let me just show this screenshot from Scriber. This is also following the APA format. Level 1, centered, bold, title, case, and then the text begins on a new line, which is, of course, indented. Level 2, heading, left align, bold, title, case, and then text begins on a new line with indent as well. Third level heading, left align, bold, italic, title case, and we begin the text on a new line, just like on the second level heading. And for the fourth level, we have indented, bold, title case, and then we end with a period, and right after the period, we write the text. And for the last level, we have indented, bold, italic, title case, period. After the period, we begin on the same line. Take note that the period must be bold as well. Take note that in the 7th edition of APA, the formatting is now easier to implement because all headings are in title case. Hindi na siya sentence case, unlike in the previous edition. All headings are in title case and all headings are bold. We just have to change the alignment as well as if the text should be italics or not. Okay. Now, it's also important to review the basic in-text citation styles. We may now use et al. For 3 or more authors, even in the first mention. Okay. And this is a sample figure. The figure number should be bold and it should be on top. Right below it, we have in title case, magkabaka nga title case, the important words. The first letter of the important or main words are capitalized. This is not bold but italicized. In the figure, you may include a note here below because as much as possible, the figure can stand on its own. So notes may be provided. So this is another sample figure from APA guideline. A note is included as well. Note is italicized, followed by a period, and then the text that follows the word note is no longer italicized. We do not use legend, rather we use note. This is a sample table. Table 2, bold, followed by the next line, which is italicized. There is also a note here. Okay, you may also use asterisks and letters to further describe the entries of the table. We do not have vertical lines, only horizontal lines. So we use letters to show some specific notes. For text here at the left, but for values here, we use asterisks. Now, let me just share with you that I encountered one advisee before who, instead of inserting a table, she inserted lines like this one. Insert, go to shapes, and then draw lines. That is going to be very difficult. For sure, everybody now knows that you may insert table, and then you may choose the row, number of rows, and number of columns just by dragging your pointer, and then you just click this. Go to table design, click borders. You may click no borders, click borders again, click top border, click bottom border. And then highlight the first row, click borders, choose bottom border. So basically the table looks like this. Do not insert lines. Okay? Because it's going to be a nightmare for you if the lines will keep on moving and will not, contain the texts as desired. Now, for the figure, let me just share with you this technique. Because usually, if you're going to show your conceptual framework, there are several shapes that are involved. So we have figure 1. This is bold. and say we have conceptual framework. This is not bold, but this is italicized. And then after which, I will insert the figure. But this figure contains several shapes. So I'll go to insert, I'll click shape, and then I will click new drawing canvas. The canvas will hold the shapes together. Say we have rectangle for your independent variable. I will insert text box. Teka, I will cut that one and then click the canvas and then paste it here because by default the text box does not appear on the canvas. So I'll just change the shape format of the text box that there should be no outline, no fill color, and then say I will place here IV, okay, and then place it here. So everything is inside the canvas. You may even insert arrow in here, for example, and you may change the setting of the canvas. Just go to shape format. Say for wrapping, you may have inline with text. It may be in front of text, but I would suggest it should be in line with text. And so let me zoom out. And for example, I'm going to enter everything. So everything is intact as well. If I will change the wrap text to square, I can easily transfer everything and all shapes will be together, okay? Intact. So use canvas for figure if you decide, because there's also no guideline whether or not there's a need to have a border for the shape format. You may decide to have a shape outline here, something like that. Here you go, if you so decide. Okay, now let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, I think before I end, I need to show the important guidelines as shown in the policy. I did not include this in my presentation in the PowerPoint file because I really want to show you the sample file in the policy. There might be a need for improvement on the sample file because in the first place, Iloilo City here, for example, is not bold, but in a guideline a while ago, it's bold. So let's just have an agreement that in the graduate school of our college, address should be bold. Now, let me just highlight the notes included in the policy. Chapters and their corresponding titles should be bold and placed at the center. This is also consistent with the APA format for Level 1 heading. This page should be counted as page 1, but no page number should appear on each chapter intro page. Check and done. We know how to do that. The distance from the header to the chapter number is 2 double spaces here. So when we say 2 double spaces, enter and enter again. Okay, the same is true with the space between the title and the next entries. There should always be a chapter summary that explains the contents of each part. And say chapter 1 is divided into 7 parts. If you have hypotheses, then you have 8 parts. Second level, heading should be flash left and boldface. Perfect. This is aligned with APA. Page number should be inserted at the upper right-hand corner of the page. Done. Okay, let's scroll down and then look for more additional notes that we need to highlight. There you go. Space between these entries, subparts of the chapter should be 2 double spaces. Take note that before, in the format that we were following, there is no extra space here. But then I think the editors decided to include a space to improve readability of our work. Take note that the theoretical framework of the study is in Level 2 heading. Let's scroll down some more. Figure number should be bold and not italicized. Perfect. But we also have here the figure title should be capitalized in italics in title case. I have to make a comment here because the one shown on the screen is not in title case, but in sentence case. We need to capitalize the main words of the text. It should appear on double space line after the figure title. The first letter of the major words are capitalized na hindi naman po siya consistent sa sample. That's okay. Let's forgive each other. Let's just follow the note here as shown inside the rectangle. Figure notes, if needed, can appear below the figure. Align left, double space. It begins with the word note in italicized font, followed by a period. Then the explanation follows in regular font style, not italicized. Says space here as well after the figure. No, para syempre, you differentiate. You can easily differentiate the figure from the text. Two double spaces. Okay. Now, if there are texts within the figure image, use the same font style, but font size may be between 8 and 14. Oh, hallelujah. We are allowed to use smaller font size for the figure. That's good. But the minimum is 8, not smaller than 8, okay? Now, let's scroll down some more. Oh, here you go. Terms should be indented. Now, let me just emphasize this, that in the definition of terms in the policy, this is not consistent with the APA heading format. And that's okay. That's okay. In the institution, in our institution, rather than using level 3 heading, the term should now use this formatting. Okay? Take note of that. Because before, I would insist on using level 3 heading kasi dapat naman talaga level 3 to eh. But then, andito na sa policy, the term should be indented and italicized and they are followed by one dash. Conceptual definitions must have in-text reference and terms should also be alphabetically arranged. Ayan, si aquaculture po yung first. For in-text citations, follow APA latest edition or other formats required by the curriculum and acceptable to the college. Here at the College of Education, we are using APA 7th edition. Operational definition must use the past tense. So, eto na. Aquaculture referred to, ayan, or shall I say, Philemon defined aquaculture as, ay, hindi pala, sorry, operational pala to. Hindi pala conceptual. So in this study, okay, aquaculture referred to ganon. Okay, notice that we have extra space before the limitation. Let's scroll down some more. Limit the groups of people or agencies that will be benefit by the study to 5, including future researchers. So just group them together if marami kayong dapat na i-connect sa study mo for the significance. The third heading level should be left aligned, bold, italic, and in title case. The following text should begin on a new line immediately after heading. Good, consistent with the APA format for level 3 heading. Second level heading should be flash left and in bold face. Correct. Note, the related studies are integrated in the discussion. It means that in the second chapter, do not include a section entitled Related Studies. That should not exist. The related studies should be embedded in their specific sections in the review of related literature. It should be integrated in the discussion. You may compare and contrast the results, conclusion, etc. of these studies. For in-text citation, follow APA latest edition or other formats required with the curriculum and acceptable to the college. And for sure, Professor Spurv later will highlight the format. The third heading level should be left aligned bold italic. Yes, this is consistent with APA. Let's scroll. The research design looks like the delimitation of the study in Chapter 1. However, in Chapter 3, the research method is defined. Define the research method employed in the study and remember, cite the source. Do not just define the method on your own, but you have to cite a source. But it is important to make connection to your own work. State how the research method is employed in your study. In some cases, the narrative discussion of the respondents or participants is followed by the table, distribution of respondents, demographic profile of the respondents. In presenting the table, follow the APA latest edition. I have showed the sample a while ago, or other formats required by the curriculum. This is also interesting because this one is not a table. This is just a scale. Sometimes before we embed this in the paragraph, but in the policy, it is recommended, perhaps to improve readability of our work, to show the scale in this way. Okay, there should be two columns, but this is not a table. Okay. The statistical tools are written in lowercase, except the first letter, bold and italicized. They are also defined as shown here. Now, this is also interesting because data analysis in this particular sample is in level 2 heading. The next one should be level 3. It should be flushed left, and italicized. Pero dito sa sample, it follows level 4 heading. I would then recommend that we follow this sample kasi may note talaga na naka-highlight. No, for statistical tools, basta may statistical tools. As long as you have statistical tools, they should be in lowercase except the first letter, bold and italicized, and then define each as shown. Okay? Again balikan ko lang, gusto ko lang i-highlight. Yung statistical tool heading, hindi po siya consistent sa APA kasi may specific po siya na formatting. And that's okay. We follow the specific formatting of the guideline. Okay? Oh, now, this is also a common question among students. Where should I put the table? Should it be before or after the discussion? Well, here's the answer. A short discussion about the table must be placed before the actual table. Interesting. Pero kasi ano naman, siguro hindi naman siya talaga perfectly before because we also have to make sure that the table should appear on one page. Hindi po natin pwedeng i-break yung table. Kasi it's going to be very difficult to understand the contents as well. And we should not put gaps in the text also. And so there's also a possibility that the table is placed in the middle of the discussion. But as shown here in the policy, it is desired that the discussion should be placed before the actual table. So the formatting here is also consistent with what I have highlighted a while ago. The title must be italicized. Title case to. If the title is more than one line, don't indent the next line. Just use single space between the lines. The table must only have 3 horizontal lines. Well, depende kasi kung minsan may column spanner bala kita, and so it's possible na more than 3 horizontal lines. But for basic table, 3 horizontal lines only. With first 2 lines enclosing the title heads, entries in the title and column heads must be placed at the center, and the first letter of the words must be capitalized. Ito. If one entry is too long, use the next line, but this must be indented in 2 spaces. There you go. Entries in the leftmost column must be left aligned, while those of the succeeding columns must be placed at the center. Tables must be placed in just one page and must not be cut. In cases where tables are bigger than the page, make adjustments in the font or spacing to fit the table in just one page. In rare cases, using landscape formats for tables to spread horizontally may be considered. Or sometimes, you just insert the table in the appendix if it is too much already to be placed in the main text. There should be one space before the symbol. Use metric symbol since it appears with numeric value in the text. No S will be added to the meter symbol even though it is plural or more than one. In the text, spell out the word meter if there is no numeric value before it. The word meter must also be in lowercase. Degrees of freedom is reported here. Okay, take note that for values, if it cannot be more than one, say it's a probability, then do not include 0 before the decimal point. If a value cannot be more than 1, do not include 0 before the decimal point. Okay? Okay. Let's scroll some more and look for additional notes. There you go. Recommendation should not be less than 5. It has been highlighted a while ago. There you go. Place at the middle the word references. It should be in bold space. Space in between the title and content entries is 2 double spaces. Okay? So right after references, 2 double spaces. Follow APA format for the references. This should be, okay, take note, eto naman, this is something special. For appendices, the word appendices should be all capital letters and should be one whole page. And there should only be one word here. Not bold, however. And so we begin with Appendix A. It must be bold and must be placed at the center. There you go. And that's it. We are done highlighting the notes in the policy. Let me check if I can still demonstrate how to format the heading. Ma'am Donita, okay pa ba? Few more minutes. Sir Rayken? Okay. Let me just demonstrate something that can be helpful later on in formatting of your heading. So, for example, okay, this is Calibri. We were not able to highlight, to edit the text a while ago. So this should be to home. There you go. Let me just demonstrate how to maximize the use of heading here in Microsoft Word. So in home, you have here in the ribbon heading 1, heading 2, etc. You can actually maximize the use of that. Let's say you have level 1, say first level 1, second level 1, level 1. And then under level 1, you have say level 2A, level 2B, and after that, you have level 3 here. Okay, let's just have the demo up to level 3. There you go. Now, take note that in APA, level 1 is bold. I hope that you can memorize it, Sandra. And capitalize each word, right? You just have to edit later on if there is a need to change each word. Okay, for level 2 heading, it's bold, left aligned, right? For level 3 heading, it's aligned left, bold, but italicized. Okay, I'll just demonstrate up to level 3. Now, to easily save this setting, you just go to Home, click this ribbon, and then click Create Style. And then say, I'll use the style APA H1. So that's level, there you go, it appears now. And so if I have level 1 heading here, I'll just click this one. And immediately the text will follow level 1. Another demo, I'll highlight this text, I'll click APA H1, that particular text will immediately be in level 1 heading. Now I also have to save this particular setting. I'll click this arrow, go to create style, APA H2. This is level 2 heading. And immediately this one is shown. So this one is level 2 heading as well. I'll just highlight the text, click APAH2, and immediately the formatting has been changed. This one is level 3, click arrow, go to create style, label it. You may use any label, but as much as possible, it should be a short label so that all text will be shown here. And I'll highlight this one, click APA H3, and immediately the formatting has been changed. Now, this is going to be very helpful because if you're going to create your table of contents, you may go to the last page, okay? Just the last page of your file because this will be deleted later on. If you find it difficult to browse through your file and look for the exact location of your parts of your paper, you may go to References. Okay, click References, click Table of Contents, click Custom Table of Contents, click Options. Okay, and then APA H1 will be level 1 for the table of contents. APA H2 is now level 2, and APA H3 will be level 3. I'll click OK. I'll click OK, and immediately the table of contents will be generated. This table of contents will be automatically be generated if you have followed the heading setting a while ago. There you go. Yes, the same page number is shown. Now, let me see. Let me experiment this one. I'll let me see. Just a moment. Let's go to page 1. And then I will transfer some text on the second page. Now, let me go back to my table of contents on the last page. Oops. This should be, because the table of contents should be generated after the editing of your paper, because this should automatically show the correct paginations, and there's no need for you to browse the entirety of your paper just to determine the page numbers. Okay, so that's it. I'm just demonstrating here how to maximize the settings for the headings, but this is of course optional. And of course, I hope that you can find time also to explore here some options regarding referencing. I do not have the 7th edition. We are following the 7th edition. Currently, my Word app is using the 6th edition because you can actually insert bibliography, insert citation, and eventually create the list of references automatically. Once you use this feature in inserting citation, and then you create the bibliography, immediately only those authors or sources that have been included in your text will be included in your bibliography. You can also use this feature in inserting tables of figures so that in generating the list of tables and list of figures, it is going to be very easy for you. Unfortunately, however, we do not have ample time to explore this option, but I'm just inviting you to explore this for you to work on your paper easier. And so after that very lengthy discussion, let me just remind you what Miyamoto Musashi said, that it may seem difficult at first, but everything is difficult at first. Indeed, when you are writing your dissertation or thesis, it is just like giving birth. Let me just quote John 16:21. When a woman is in labor, she has suffering because her time has come. But when she has given birth to a child, she no longer remembers the pain because of the joy that a child has been born into the world. Yes, writing your dissertation is like giving birth. It's going to be painful. There will be cries of pain. But once you have seen your baby, your dissertation, your research, you will feel the joy in earning your degree. So good luck, everyone, and God bless in your research formatting. Thank you very much.